Welcome to Morecambe, Vintage by the Sea. So, are you a fan of vintage clothing, vintage cars, and to top it off, have it by a seaside resort? Well, don't you worry, in today's vlog, myself and Claire investigate this fantastic event, so hop on board and see what Vintage by the Sea has to offer. So Morecambe is a seaside resort located by Blackpool, England. At this time I had no idea Morecambe even existed. That's right, this small seaside town was unknown to me. That being said, on first impressions, the whole place looked pretty amazing to me. Although quite a small town, there was a lot to offer. Again, we had the seaside resort, a fair which was going on, and of course the event itself. Now myself and Claire love the sea, so we decided to start there. Hello there, welcome to Morecambe. As you can see, we're doing another episode of AffroVlogs. Now we're here because we're going to be looking at the vintage in the sea. Rather, vintage at the sea, you know what I mean. Anyway, point is, we're here to see vintage stuff and a nice fun fair. So all I can say really, folks, is come and join me and Claire, and we're going to go out there and see what this event is all about.
Hello, we are here in Morecambe for the AffroVlogs.
Finally, we started to explore. Immediately, my attention was grabbed by this dock, and when I went onto the dock, I saw my first sighting of a ship. Me being a ship lover, I decided to stare at it and ponder. This boat over there, I love boats. I don't know why, but I have this strange fascination with boats. I think it's because of the Titanic. I know that sounds a bit weird, because obviously the Titanic is nowhere near the scale of those boats, but ever since I watched the film and discovered about Titanic, I just have an interest in boats, especially paddle boats like that one. I actually was in a boat myself once. I used to control it when I went to Malvern in the Isle of Man, I believe it is. Unfortunately, I turned the wheel the rudder a little too much, and let's just say I went overboard, so that was a great moment. But anyway, that's why I love boats. Moving on from the dock, we then started to go towards the actual event itself and explore what makes Vintage by the Sea so special.
Right, so we're at Vintage by the Sea, and all this in Morecambe is basically for being vintage. When I tried to test vintage, can you see? It's kind of modern vintage, but there you go. And you've got modern.
Okay folks, I'm starving and I'm hungry. I want to go to KFC now. I want some chicken. No, but seriously though, this event so far has been pretty good. I mean, we've not got a chance to see a lot so far, but the fun fair is obviously fun. The food was delicious, and so far the whole place itself, being a seaside resort, has just been great, so I really can't wait to see more. I think I look good today, don't I? I think I'm beautiful. By this time, I was extremely hungry, so while I went off to KFC to fill my stomach up, Claire took over the camera, and let's just say she got some very interesting footage. After my KFC binge, I then returned to Claire only to find out she was able to find these vintage cars laid out in a parking space. I was so desperate to go back, I demanded she take me to where she found these cars. And let's just say, it was worth it. Triumph Spitfire, it's a classic. This looks like some kind of Ford, a Cortina. It's a Cortina, yes it is. I like Ford Cortinas. Let's say. Not so. Ugh, I don't want to look at this, come on. I would love to meet the person who bought this because I don't like it. I think it looks too 70s. Look at this one, it's huge. It's a massive car. I mean, the whole car itself is like 6 meters long. It's nice though, I do like it. Oh, even more detail, you see this? How many cars do you see with their badging on the lights? Oh, and look what we got here, we got a Peugeot here. It's a Peugeot. It's a Peugeot. I've got nothing more to say about that. This is the Lotus Elan from the late 80s to the mid 90s. This was one of the few front-wheel drive cars Lotus ever made, and as you know about Lotus, they're a company mainly known for making rear-wheel drive sports cars, so this was a bit of a shock really. But you can see that it looks really nice. And I love the inside of this car. Oh, right, okay, right. Anyway, as I was saying, this car has pop-up headlamps, and that's cool. I don't know why, it just is. I do miss them. A lot of cars like the Mazda MX-5 had them as well, but safety feature, of course. But if you thought this was a classic, then you have to look at this car next to it. This was the car that made Ferrari quake in its boots when it saw this. That would. And I love this. That's where the fuel would go. It's very nice. I mean, compared to what we have, we just have flaps like that car over there actually. And then, right next to this car over here, you have this.
That's pretty low.
Yep. Remember, it's a Lotus, it's a sports car. I forgot its name though. There's also another attempt to beat Ferrari. And as you can see, compared to the other cars, it's much nicer and much higher spec. Although, as a result, it's much lower as well. Like I said, it was meant to be Lotus's attempt at conquering the sports car market in the 70s, and this was their Ferrari killer. Didn't kill Ferrari, but it was a good car, handled well. Driving it was tough though if you weren't experienced enough, despite having a paltry 85 horsepower. To put that into perspective, that's how much power my car has, but it weighs a lot more. I'm sure my car could beat it, but I'm not going to try it.
Hi, this is my favourite vehicle ever, Volkswagen camper van. I don't know much about cars, but this is my favourite. As you can see, it's the angular, what he said. But the thing that I was a bit upset about with this, it doesn't have the wheel bumper at the front. Oh, gutted! But if you come with me, how looking great is this? I think it's fabulous, darling. Yeah. And woo! Yeah. I'm happy.
Okay, here comes the last car that I'll talk about today, the Triumph Spitfire. Now, if you come closer. I'm just fixated by this teddy bear here. I hope it came with the car. If it did, that'd be great. Well, there's a reason why they're not around anymore. I feel so bad for saying that, but this was their best car ever, but that's all they ever made. That was any good. Sorry, Triumph, but maybe next time. Oh, it's a V8. Don't think it was that much powerful though, was it? Oh dear, sorry Triumph.
So you know a lot about cars, do you, Jonathan?
I think I do. I think I know a bit too much. The only thing I can really say though, it's a shame because when you look at the design of this car, it does look amazing. Good. I mean, in terms of its overall design cues here, it has stood, in my opinion, the test of time. It's just a shame that everything else about it has not. So again, sorry Triumph, but oh well.
What about this? Do you like Jeeps?
Oh, don't even get me started on this car. Oh, This is the best. Once I was finally done with the cars, we then moved on to the fair. However...
Right, you want to come and follow me on a ride? This is going to be fun.
With the fair turning out to be a disappointment, we decided to do one more thing. Check out the vintage clothing. And boy oh boy, was there a lot to see here. In fact, there was so much going on, Claire went bonkers.
What do you think? Yeah, no.
Yeah.
You can try if you want, because there's a dressing room over there if you want to try anything else.
Cheers. I do like these socks. I don't know if it's my kind of size. Me being the curvy woman. This is one of my favourite pieces of clothing. The waistcoat. Although this is kind of too pink for me, but I love waistcoats. One of my favourite garments ever. Do you like? Yeah? No?
Yeah.
I know, it's that useless. Yeah, you can't do it. It sounds like
Now that is pure vintage. Yeah?
Mhm.
Oh, so cute! I would buy that. If it had more of a skirty, flirty feel. That, the one that I've got, but it's black and I've got blue, red lips all over it. It's a bit similar to that. Gorgeous. It makes me feel confident, yes.
And there you have it, the Morecambe Vintage by the Sea event. What a fantastic time myself and Claire had, and I would absolutely love to return to this place. The seaside was nice, the town itself was nice, and the event itself did not disappoint. There was more than enough on offer to keep our interest high, and the whole environment was just seemingly nice and pleasant. So if you guys want to go to a vintage event, this one definitely gets my recommendation.